order to purchase Bitcoin and store it as a treasury asset, Trump Media formally inks a $2,320,000,000 0-cent transaction. XRP holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. As always, I'm grateful that you all stayed and showed such affection. Let's examine the current state of XRP's pricing and how the monthly candle might close today. It's amazing to consider that today is the last day of the month, as we all know. On the other hand, if you look at the cryptocurrency markets as a whole, you see a sea of red. And once more, this is something we've been discussing if you've been watching the channel. However, I don't want you to overlook this again, because certainly many individuals have a tendency to forget it. However, a lot of projects are down if you look at everything. Depending on what you're looking at, XRP's down just 2.7%, but it might be 5, 7, or even 20%. Therefore, it is holding up better than the whole market. Regarding it, there is no doubt. You are aware that I provide you with objective updates. I won't just sit here and tell you that it isn't if it was, down quite a lot. However, it is holding up far better in this instance than many altcoins. Once more, it is evident that the price has dropped by roughly 2.7% to $2.13. Bitcoin is down 1% as well, with a market value of $125.3 billion and a 24-hour trading volume of $3 billion, 0 cents. As always, before we continue, let me just quickly clarify that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. Therefore, I would like you all to look at this. President Trump claims that China has broken the terms of the US-China trade agreement, and I believe that this has had some effect on the cryptocurrency market as well as the regular market in recent days. In the overall context, May was undoubtedly a positive month for the market as a whole. Regarding it, there is no doubt even Bitcoin, the market leader, ultimately hit a record high during this period. The moves of several altcoins were explosive. We witnessed enthusiasm in the cryptocurrency market, but it was obviously nothing in comparison to what we experienced early this year and of course late last year. That tariff has been somewhat introduced by this announcement, a reminder once more, with a large number of people, and we are observing the market being somewhat affected. However, since monthly candles also close, it goes without saying that we are approaching a monthly candle. If you're familiar with technical analysis, you may also be aware that there is typically some volatility in the cryptocurrency markets, particularly with Bitcoin, around the end of the month and during the monthly candle. Naturally, the conflict between the bulls and bears to determine who wins is another factor I take into account. And at the moment, you do have some power over the brief period of time. In light of this, stablecoins will surpass all others. All financial products will be digital assets. Naturally, stablecoins are currently the most talked about topic, particularly in relation to cross-border payments. Additionally, you want to see a stable currency with that regulatory clearance, not just any stable coin, actually having that reserve, I actually, rather not speculating that the reserve is real. That audit must be in front of you. And this is where RLUSD excels, incredibly fascinating item. However, take a look at this historic real estate transaction that will be recorded on the XRP ledger on June 23rd. With 48,000 residences and more than 50,000 more under construction, this big real estate behemoth in Dubai is collaborating with the top payment reward token on XRPL and may soon begin to accept it properly for real estate purchases. This is revolutionary. The CTF coin and XRPL might see billions of dollars in investment. Very intriguing. Naturally, it won't happen fast for the XRP or ledger to reach the point where many people desired to reach the trillions and trillions of dollars. Let's be honest, it won't happen right away. It will take some time. But if this occurs and there are an increasing number of announcements of this nature, then naturally everything begins to add up. And take a look at this. The S&P 500 recorded its highest month since November 2023, naturally increasing 6.2%. We are essentially emerging from a carnage over the past 2 months. A mildly pessimistic trend. As we are once more starting down that bullish path over the past few months, we have recovered from a very severe setback. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Donald Trump made the announcement that now is the finest time to purchase equities. That's something that should be taken into consideration as well, in my opinion, but also a really fascinating topic that we shouldn't really overlook. Speaking of fascinating crypto czars, David Sachs outlines the reasons why the United States requires a strategic Bitcoin reserve. In this video, he sort of goes describing how the US federal government already owns all of the Bitcoin and wants to hold on to it rather than sell it because they see its potential and its scarcity. They are aware that this is a respectable asset that requires careful consideration. He adds, "We understand that this could become big, obviously, in the future, so we don't want to sell it, we want to hold it." In addition, they state that an audit is necessary to sort of review all of the assets they own in order to develop a strategic reserve and keep these assets instead of selling, which is, again, a huge deal. We are also aware of this. We've been discussing it for a while now. And you can see, ask the community 2 days ago, which coin was approved first for the spot ETF of you? 2,200 cast ballots and 67 left comments. I'm grateful for that. If you want to be informed whenever I make these updates, click the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. As you can see, about 70% of these voters cast ballots for XRP, which demonstrates where the true demand is. Take a look at the dominance situation. As anticipated, given that Bitcoin did go below, the dominance woke up to 64.62%. You are aware of the $160,000 0 cents that we have talked about. But have a look at where we ended up. The support line I said to you all at $12,000 0 cents. Yes, that range provided us with support. However, I'm really happy with how we actually discussed the important support line that will be retested next. And that's precisely where the price of Bitcoin ended up going. That being said, it's clear that if this support does not hold $100,000 0 cents, Bitcoin is still a possibility. You can't make this up right now, though, if you're looking at the price of XRP. At 207, we nearly made contact with the 38.2's neckline. What did we discuss last night, if you viewed my update? What did we discuss if you also saw my update from last night? As you're aware, the 207 transmits a crucial support line for retesting. Actually, we didn't retest the neckline precisely. Naturally, a retest was conducted on May 6th, which was also this month. However, many people will forget that. We did get very, very near to it. You know, again, since we obviously need to grasp what's happening with Bitcoin right now, it shouldn't be too difficult for everyone. You know, naturally, if Bitcoin does fall below the 100, I apologize, from $2,000 cents to $100 cents K, we will have to break below the 38.2, which might get us down to as low as $1.99. So we'll see what occurs at this moment. The 38.2 is still in effect. To everyone who is alarmed or shocked by this, I truly want you to know that although Bitcoin is currently retracing by roughly 7 to 8% from its peak, which is normal in the big picture, it does affect other cryptocurrencies and XRP. However, in the big picture, we're still in the 38.2, which many people continue to ignore. On this channel, we'll be constantly examining this and realizing it, but we still love you all. I appreciate all of your help. Peace out, and we'll see you in Crypto ZX later.